know where to put this thing. Oh, holla! Hey guys, how's my audio? Hey everybody.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to Cinema Bias. Hello. I'm one of your hosts, VideoDrew. Drew, as always, we have my lovely co-host here, Alex Mac Daddy. I love how I was still pointing to the wrong side. Mac Daddy. So what happened? Did you give birth to a hamburger, or is that a Big Mac Daddy, or?
Oh, I was on a stream with some friends, and I just forgot to change my name when I answered it. But that's your
Dolemite name.
That's literally what a bunch of friends call me. They're just like, "Hey, Mac Daddy, what's up?" So
I'm gonna announce this right now. That is your Dolemite name. Is Mac Daddy?
Yo, can it?
Yeah. That's your Dolemite.
Oh my gosh! I even said it. If I was ever in Schmoedown, I'd be Alex Mac Daddy Shashak.
Nice. What's my Dolemite name? We'll figure it out, guys. Anyway, welcome to Cinema Bias, where we fill in each other's blind spots about movies that we have avoided, not seen, or just kind of passed through our radar for one reason or another. And we kind of take some introspective looks into what these movies are about, why they're important, why we liked or didn't like them, and kind of go from there. This month we're doing something pretty first time for us, and I do want to make this comment on the top of the show that we're going to spend the month of February watching movies that fall with the criteria of Black cinema. And I'm a white person. Not sure if you could tell, but I am not black. I know.
What?
Crazy.
Huh?
I know.
Obviously.
So while these conversations I think should be had, and there should be spaces for me to learn about these movies and discuss them, and I really want this to be a conversation with the audience as well, because this is not, I can openly admit, this is not my area of expertise, and I'm really looking forward to learning more about it. But if we make mistakes along the way, or if we don't have the right info, or if we have the not right or wrong, but if we have if our framework of this seems a little wonky, please let us know in the chat. Please give us please inform us and let us be educated by you guys, because this is us wanting to be better. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I take you awful Brendan Marr. I noticed you.
Let's see. Oh, and we can't forget, before we go any further, we have a gorgeous new intro video.
Oh, I was going to play it while you were talking. I was going to do it while you were talking. I never.
Oh.
How gorgeous is that intro? Thank you again, Danny the Crowboy, for getting me bringing us that amazing intro. I love the music. It's so jangly. Great.
It is. It does remind me of something I would see in a soap commercial circa 1952 or something.
About it, which I also really like. So This week on Cinema Bias, we're going to be talking about a movie that neither of us have seen. It's actually our first double feature. I've seen one of the two movies before. Alex hadn't seen either. I'd never seen the original. It's we watched Dolemite, which I believe is 1974, but again, I have to be 1975. I was 1 year off. 1975. Boom, bitch. 1975. A sort of blaxploitation film that was made with Rudy Ray Moore, whose name I keep saying Randy Ray Moore, but Rudy Ray Moore, as well as the 2019 version of Dolemite Is My Name, which is a sort of biographical film about this guy.
The making of
the first Dolemite movie, and the actor and his sort of aspirations. Now, Alex, real quick, did this movie remind you of any other movies we've seen recently?
It's funny you say that or ask me that, because when I watched this, I was like, this would be an oddly perfect double feature to Ed Wood.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, at the end of the day, it's about these two directors, personalities that are doing this for the love of this art form.
Mm-hmm.
And they have no idea what they're doing, and they're just having fun with it. And they're just trying to figure it out along the way, and hilarity ensues.
What if I was to tell you that it was the same writers?
No. What?
Yeah. That's why I was like, that's what I was teeing up to. Yes, it's the same writers. For Larry, it's God, they have really confusing names. It's like one is hold on, Scott Alexander and Larry Karaswitsky. God, I'm like friends with him on Instagram. I should know how to pronounce the last name. But they did the People versus O.J. Simpson. They did the People versus Larry Flint. They did Ed Wood. They wrote Ed Wood, and they wrote Dolemite is My Name. And I think this movie has a lot of interesting things. Like Dolemite is My Name. It's a lot of interesting parallels to Ed Wood, and I'd like excited to get into it. So, guys, our Streamlabs are open. So feel free to send in a couple bucks, streamlabs.com/VideoDrew, or you can send in some super chats. We can have some donation goals today. I don't know what they would be exactly. Maybe, what would we do for money today, Alex?
I'll crack my neck a few times. I also have some steamed barbecue steam buns. We can incorporate somehow. We can do some mukbang situation.
I'll have some mochi. I can see if I can put a whole mochi in my mouth. If we get up to $50 tonight, I'll put like one of those big monkey things.
I'll do another weird monologue.
Yes, that's what it is. $50 gets you the monologue of something from this movie,
or your choice in general. It doesn't have to be this movie because it sounds terrifying.
But it has to be that voice of Marissa Tomei and My Cousin Vinny. That's non-negotiable. That's what it's going to be. Perfect.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's what it was. The Marissa Tomei one.
This movie's actually good. A few things I recall not being a fan of. Now, are you talking about the original Dolemite, or are you talking about Dolemite is My Name? Because I've thought, there's clearly two different things there. One is a biopic about the movie itself, and one is the movie itself, which is it's a high
definitely not a biopic. Yeah, definitely not a biopic.
I think he's a self-biopic, maybe. I really love this. I really love both movies a lot, like for different reasons. But let's say, real quick, Alex, what's your bias? Or as I guess we'll be saying for the rest of the month, why do we seem so racist?
That's a big question right there. Dolemite, I'll start with Dolemite is My Name, or My Name is Dolemite. I keep forgetting the title specifically. Dolemite's name, My Name is Dolemite. But I knew going into this movie what it was. I didn't go see it just because I'm usually not big into biopics personally, and it's not based on a person that I know or just generally familiar with on any level. Right. And so, like, when I remember seeing the trailer, and I remember being like, this looks interesting, just because a lot of these people I know are in this, but I still don't really know what it's about. And same for and I never heard of Dolemite until this movie. And so I'm actually very grateful to sit down and watch this, because I haven't heard of, personally, I was not familiar with Rudy Ray Moore. This is actually technically the first blaxploitation film I've ever seen. I've seen quite a few films that are influenced by blaxploitation films, but this is my first one that's your nail on the head blaxploitation film for me. So
I would say this for me is this fits a couple categories of stuff that I like. Just have avoid just generally. I don't know how else to put it, and it's not just the race issue. Although like movies that bum me out generally and aren't weird and don't exist in some alternate universe involving time travel or scary monsters are generally not stuff I gravitate towards. I want escapism. I don't want realism. So like I avoid a lot of biopics for that reason. Like I avoid a lot of war movies for that reason. I avoid a lot of historical movies about different times, time periods in America or like throughout the world, just because it bums me out, and I'm already bummed out enough. So it's great, I think, when when someone can sit me down and force me to watch a biopic like this, and it opens up like this whole it gives you such a love for what they do, and it's really just such a really inspiring story. So yeah, I think guys, I think we can do tell me the plot. Which, you know what? How about we split this off since it's double header? You can take one of the plots. I'll take another.
Okay. I'll do Dolemite.
Yo, you want to do Dolemite? You want to do the original movie? You want to explain the plot of the original? Because I'm gonna say, I was about to think you were gonna hot potato that onto me, and I was like, I'm not gonna take the I have no clue where the like 18 things are going on in that movie. I'll take Dolemite as my name then.
To me, Dolemite's a lot. It feels a lot easier. But all right,
there's a lot going on. You know what? In that case, yeah. Let's start with you then. I'm gonna pull out the phone and I'm gonna put 60 seconds. Oh wait, does we have it backstage? The thing on the clock? Where'd the clock go? Yep. So we have the. Nope, that's wrong. Never mind, guys. We didn't have the clock. I'll just put it on my phone. I'll give you 60 seconds, Scott.
All right.
So I'm going to give us the plot of the movie Dolemite, starting now.
All right. So when we first made Dolemite is a pimp. I think he's technically a pimp. He's also a nightclub owner or some kind of gangster guy. He's serving prison, and at this point, he's only served 2 years of what he's supposed to serve 20, and that's because he was actually set up by his rival. So his rival is actually in real life. It was actually the director. His name something Martin, but it was like Willie Green, Wiley Green, or something like that. He was like set up though because he was set up by having a body and cocaine in his car trunk, and he was totally framed by a few corrupt detectives. And what? Huh? And the mayor's fault. Okay, so he was pardoned. His friend Queen Bee got him out. Anyway, he's trying to get his club back on track. He ends up enforcing some karate chicks to be at his beck and call that are a bunch of prostitutes as well. I got plot, damn it.
Actually, can I be honest? That was a better one than usual, and I would say more coherent than mine would have been, because so much happens in that movie. That's almost like it's out of a Mystery Science Theater film. Like at one point he just goes on, like he goes to a nightclub where he's supposed to do something and instead goes on stage and starts like, you know, doing the Ray Dolemite, like, you know, power rapping thing, and everyone's like, yay, and then he skates away on his wheelies or whatever the equivalent of that was in the 70s. This movie is it's so good. Okay, so I'll take Dolemite is my name. Let's see.
All right. You got 60 seconds.
Wait. Because I want to make sure I have the characters' names right. So I'm going to look that up. That's not cheating because I need to be accurate with the names. Okay. So 60 seconds? Okay. So there's this guy, Rudy Ray Moore, right? And he's kind of an older dude that's been in Hollywood for a long time, just doing all these different kind of hustles. He's been a stand-up comedian. He's done like works in clubs. He decides he's going to make comedy albums. He makes these comedy albums. They're really raunchy, but they hit a certain kind of niche audience of Black communities everywhere. He gets on the Billboard charts, decides he wants to become a movie star, and a karate movie star at that. He enlists the help of a couple friends of his, along with the black guy from Rosemary's Baby, who's played by Wesley Snipes. And Keegan-Michael Key, who is the screenwriter. They sort of do this kind of Ed Wood, like getting the gang all together to produce this movie Dolemite that no one wants to touch with a 10-foot pole, because it's like a ridiculous film about like an overweight kind of paunchy black man who can like talk in what is really the predecessor to rap and like come up with these like amazing like rhyme schemes. And the movie comes out, and not only is it like a success, but like the production company that turned him down originally like comes back on hands and knees and like begs him to show the movie let them distribute the movie. So it's a really uplifting tale about like, you know, just really believing in your dreams. Is that good?
That's pretty much it. Yeah, they have a lot of hiccups along the way. I feel like it's just like you really need to include that, honestly. I mean, in the plot, like such as like they ran out of film, so they were like, what the fuck do? We don't have film. we don't have enough money to buy actual film to record this. Stuff like that. And the really incredible, like weird relationship between the director and the real life director and not Dolemite, but Rudy. as well, because they have a very interesting relationship, you know, because like I keep wanting to call him Wiley, but his name's not, or Willie. Derville, he's like, they have this kind of weird relationship because, you know, Derville, he has been in Hollywood. He was like in Rosemary's Baby. He's been in a handful of, he was Coming to Dinner.
Remember when we watched Rosemary's Baby and we all pointed out, like me and Roka pointed out that there was one black person in the movie and it was the elevator operator? It's that elevator operator. But that's the guy who's the director of the original Dolemite movie, and who in this movie is played so exquisitely by Wesley Snipes. But we can get into that in character stuff a little bit later. The meta story, The Dolemite Is My Name, is such a perfect, like, beautiful film in one respect of like perfectly well crafted. It's fun. It gives you all the joy of these guys' work, and if you're a fan of Larry and his partner, like, you know that you like their movies. Like, if you're a fan of OJ or Ed Wood or People vs. Life, you know that they do great work if that's your style. Dolemite, on the other hand, the original, that movie's like straight up ridiculous, bonkers, banana town, and I fucking loved it. I This guy, first of all, like, I want to just talk for a second about how actually, like, well done the movie is. They keep talking in Dolemite Is My Name about how the production of Dolemite was like not cursed, but like no one had any experience and everyone was like bad at it, and like, but they actually, the
actors actually have a history of acting.
Yeah, when you actually watch it though, like, it doesn't seem that bad at all. Hold on one second, I'm making this big. There he is. That's the original Dolemite. That's Rudy Ray Moore. So he has, like, you know, Karate Women. He really, you know, there would be, I feel like, no Tarantino maybe if there wasn't like none of this guy.
Well, he's very how inspired by not only blaxploitation films and spaghetti westerns, obviously. Mm-hmm. But he has mentioned Dolemite in particular was a huge influence in his career. So I am not surprised in the slightest. But maybe I wonder if we would have a Quentin Tarantino today if it wasn't for him.
That's what, yeah, that's what I was asking. Like, maybe we wouldn't.
Or even a lot of rappers as well. I mean, or just like, because he's referred to.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's not mentioned. Well, sorry, it's not part of the movie, but in Dolemite Is My Name, he's mentioned that because of his style of his comedy style, his like where it's like his rhyming style is a huge influence on rap music in general. Yeah, and he is called the godfather of rap. So I'm kind of wondering if, you know, what the music world or rap, what kind of rap, if we would have rap right now if it wasn't for him.
That's a question probably only my ex-husband can answer. But I don't know. I mean, the rap, I mean, because what he's doing is not rapping. He's just making like these little rhyming couplets, and he's putting them out on audio. They're dirty and they're like, you know, they're raunchy, but they're really funny. Like, they're good. Like, Eddie Murphy's delivery in this is great. But I gotta tell you, watching the original Dolemite, kind of like into to the actual actor, Rudy Ray Moore. He's kind of a good-looking gentleman. Like, they kind of make it. Dolemite Is My Name. It's, you know, he's kind of old and whatever. Mm-hmm. I expected a really old guy, but this dude's like, this is a straight up hottie. That's a hottie to me. I don't know.
Well, it's all about the attitude with him, and you know, he has like several really iconic lines that are really, really funny when delivered with that energy that he gives. And Dolemite isn't so much. I don't think Dolemite is a great movie. I don't think it's like wonderful. I know you said there's a lot of really great things about it, and I agree. I definitely do. But Dolemite, there's a reason why it's all about this character. There's a reason why this character has several sequels, and it's all about his crazy confidence and just like charisma in every scene. It's just off the charts.
Now, would you compare this to a movie like the people like say that it's so bad it's good, like something like The Room or like any of those Mystery Science Theater movies? Why did I take myself off screen? Is that sort of the lens that, like, originally that's the lens I was going into this movie being like kind of like an Ed Wood movie, because these guys like writing about like filmmakers who achieved their dream to a certain extent, even if history doesn't remember them as these great filmmakers. They were able to achieve what they set out to do, and were able to hold on to their artistic vision, and so in that way they are a success story.
Mm-hmm.
But like watching coming into Dolemite, I was like, this is gonna be like it's gonna be like The Room. It's gonna be corny acting. It's gonna be terrible. Like they made it very clear in Dolemite is my name that nobody knew what they were doing like while filming this. Like the guy thought he like Dolemite thought, or Moore thought he knew karate, but he like didn't know karate, and it looked really terrible like when they were doing it in the meta movie. So I was walking into this being like, this movie's gonna suck, and I'm gonna have to sit through the whole thing. And instead, it was a pretty like narratively cogent. Like I've seen way less cogent movies like from well-known directors recently than this movie. This movie has a plot that goes A to B to C to D. There's some weird detours, of course, and it's like the 70s, so they're like, there's weird parts where women have to come and flock to him, and he has to go do a rap at a club instead of, where he's supposed to be like, looking for a guy that's going to kill him. Like there's these weird moments where it's just to show off how, what this character is. But I really thought it was a cogent plot. I thought his delivery and the delivery of many other people in this movie was excellent, like just absolutely excellent. In fact, like I think the comparison I was making in my head was, this is better acting than Under the Silver Lake, which is the movie that is by the guy who did It Follows that I was watching recently.
Andrew Garfield. Okay. All right.
Andrew Garfield, but there's other people in that movie and they read their lines. Right. And I can't tell if it's like a deliberate choice, but they read it like they're like reading from a phone book. And in this movie, nobody reads like they're even like though it's clear that these people aren't great actors, like it is, or like that they're not trained actors or whatever. They deliver their lines and they put on a performance. The guy who plays like his like sketchy friend, like the junkie friend, like that was a great performance. Like the whole thing, it just felt like Dolemite actually felt like as its own movie. I can see why it was so popular. I can totally see why people would come to see this.
Well, it's kind of funny because this movie is, I think, it's intentionally an action comedy. And I really like that. It just kind of, when making it, and you really that's really emphasized in the Eddie Murphy adaptation, is just, they know exactly what they're doing. But there is there was an initial disconnection between some of the behind the scenes people, some of the actors, just a little bit, because some of them are theatrically trained actors, and some of the actors, a lot of the behind the scenes people, the writer that also plays the FBI agent in this film, he's involved.
Wait, sorry, let's go back. The FBI, you mean the black FBI agent?
Yes, the FBI agent.
And character? Like from the Dolemite is my name. Oh my god, that's so fucking sorry. That's so cool that the bad guy's played by the director and then the writer is the detective. Oh man, this is
did I didn't know this was. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was news to you.
I know. That's awesome. Like I think that's so cool.
It's really interesting how these people were so directly involved in. And the writer, he's not only a theatrically trained actor, but he is a very serious writer. And it really makes sense when seeing it. He was like completely distraught apparently when they filmed that sex scene. Like I wonder how distraught was he, like really distraught when he's like,
apparently that was the thing. Like, he's playing a character. You can kind of see why that this guy. Sorry, I've been out of breath these days. Has like the bravado. He wants to portray himself as this pimp like badass Shaft character, but he's got some insecurities. And I really enjoy how in Dolemite is my name, we don't really need to touch on them. We don't need to know his sexual hang-ups. We don't see him with a woman except for platonically. It's just like this is just about his dream, almost like Ed Wood too. Although he had girlfriends in that movie, but like it's not really about his relationships with people or his sexuality or anything else. It's just about his desire to make this movie like by any means possible, and his belief in himself and like the motley crew that he gets to assemble and all do this together. Would you like to know something though? And this is what makes this like a really happy story. This movie
I would love to know. I would love to know the story.
The original Dolemite, as we learned in Dolemite is my name, was financed for $100,000, most of which was taken out of the future royalty rights for any of his Moore's record contracts. So he already had these really popular records and was going around the country doing stand-up as Dolemite. And he said, I want to make this movie. And the record label was like, sure, we'll loan you the money, but like if you can't pay it back, then like you're just gonna be like working for us for free for the rest of your life. You won't own your own songs. Like nothing will be yours. And so like he took the gamble on himself. And like when the money ran out, he took a little bit more out. So $100,000 total. Guess how much it made? Box office.
The first one. You mean 10 million?
Close. 12.
Yeah, so 5. I was close. I'll ballpark it.
I mean, like $12 million in that money, like that's a ton of cash.
It is. It's. I mean, also we have to remember this is 1975, a very different time, and like obviously, and that kind of money is huge. And there wasn't that many, Kevin Smith situations where this like random $50,000 going to be entered into a festival and it's going to be a huge overnight success and they have sponsorships and so like that didn't really happen at the time in the 70s. And
festivals for you to show your your thing without a distributor,
Yeah.
Now that if you have an indie movie or if you have a self-made movie, you raise money on GoFundMe or Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
You go to festivals, you show it around, you try to get distribution. There was none of that back then. There was like 5 distributors and like not that many movie houses that would like directly speak one-on-one to you. Like but it's there's so much cool stuff in here that I want to unpack. How do we want to do this? Do we want to start by just talking about the plot of the Dolemite movie, or because I feel like I'm keep jumping back and forth because I'm so excited about the whole thing. Oh, cohesive.
Well, okay. So I think that you really took so much love for the first film. So let's dive into that one in particular.
Okay, so I'm just going to read you a Wikipedia summary, and like hopefully this gives you an idea. Maybe not. It seems kind of straightforward, but Dolemite is a pimp and a nightclub owner who is currently serving 20 years in prison after being set up by a rival, Willie Green, and framed by corrupt detectives and the mayor. We don't find out about the mayor until like way later, by the way. Oh, we got to donate. Thank you so much. Who did that, Weston? Thank you so much, Weston. That's really sweet, Weston. Yeah,
Thank you.
It's always important to know when to bet on yourself. That's the line he has. Good job. So, okay, so Dolemite is a pimp being set up and corrupt detectives and the mayor. Why the mayor is involved with like setting up Dolemite, whatever. Let's just keep going. Freed thanks to lobbying for a pardon by fellow pimp Queen Bee. He attempts to rekindle his reputation on the streets while trying to get his total experience club, that's their air quotes, not mine, back under control. He has to face Green in league with the mayor to get black votes in exchange for immunity from prosecution. Wait, I don't remember that being a subplot. Okay, so Green's in league with the mayor to get black votes in exchange for not being prosecuted for the guns that he's been smuggling in, alongside corrupt detectives and drug dealers selling to the community. In the meantime, he trains his women in kung fu before coming face-to-face with Green and the detectives, while an FBI agent, Jerry Jones, lurks in the shadows, watching the proceedings. Now, does that do this justice?
It does not do it justice at all in any way. There's just, like I kind of mentioned earlier, the character of Dolemite in particular, it's all about a vibe. It's all about an attitude. And his confidence throughout the film, and it's never unwavering. And there's a handful of these itty-bitty moments that are in this film that are not so much unnecessary, but these small, you get like a lot of these big moments, like these big, huge fights, like random, like fights and kung fu fights between Dolemite and the villain, Willie Green, and everything at the very end with his intestine coming out and his belly. Oh my gosh, it was like crazy.
He pulled out his fucking intestines, man. It's the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my life.
I was like, what is this happening? What's going on?
And then afterwards, he shoots him. He shoots him after he pulls out his intestines. That shit's Baskin. That is some
just to make sure. Just to make sure.
By the way, guys, you know that mirrors what the original ending of Seven was supposed to be, which is that Morgan Freeman kills John Doe before. I know you haven't seen it, so earmuffs, Alex. But
I already know the answer. I already know
okay,
what
so
happened.
Morgan Freeman was
But
supposed to have killed John Doe before Brad Pitt gets a chance to in the original ending because he was going to retire anyway, and then he goes like the storyboards have Morgan Freeman going like bam, and Brad Pitt's like, "What do you do? What did you do?" And he was like, "Call it an early retirement," and like that was.
that would have been a bad ending. Like I don't
I
know if
mean,
I
I
would
don't
have
know like if
liked
I would be going
that.
to jail for. We can
With
get into
that
seven.
line, with that
You're right.
line,
You're right. That's a terrible
call it
line.
an early retirement. Like,
Also not technically early. He was already retiring. Anyway, getting back to this movie. This movie is ridiculous. It's ludicrous, but like I don't even think it would count as a mystery science theater movie because it's too not well made, but well constructed. Like if we can talk about like the differences between there's like the dialogue is great. The acting, like it doesn't feel like somebody's home movie. It does feel like a finished production that someone made. Yeah, it has cheesy graphics, and yeah, there's the kung fu is like corny as hell, but like this movie feels like it was actually made by somebody who was an intelligent person who had like an eye for certain things, and the script is great, like pretty good. Like the way he delivers his lines is so perfect, and his interactions, like the chemistry he has with almost everybody on screen is incredible. Like I was like until the final third of the film where like we get into the Chinatown sort of subplot about the mayor being involved in it, which they do address in Dolemite is My Name, which is like, why would the mayor be involved? Like, why would this person be involved with the warden? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And he's like, nah, like, let's do that. Or like, add kung fu. Or like,
yeah, the kung fu aspect is actually one of my favorites. I wonder where it came from because I know it was also around this time where Bruce Lee films were really becoming not mainstream popular, but they were popular. From what I've been told, that they were popular at the time and within the Black community at theaters.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. We don't
Yeah,
have to qualify that as a qualifier statement. There is a huge.
I was like timeline wise, I don't know if
No,
if it's like it's a direct influence or not.
well, yeah, it is direct influence because that's like why he wanted karate in his movie. It's because he's been watching all these Bruce Lee movies and like that's he just thought, but he didn't know karate. That's what's amazing. He didn't even bother learning karate. He was just like, I'm gonna do what looks like he's like just would chop the air and be like blah blah, and people just have to like jump around him and pretend like they were getting hit. There was one part in the movie last night, NerdChronic, remind me what it was, where he's like, and he like wants to add one thing in the movie, and he's like, by the way, we're gonna have Blop, and Eric was like, oh yeah, that's like something you would say. Like I forget exactly what it was, but Eric in the chat. It's like funny. The way he keeps adding random things. He's like, okay, now there's got to be kung fu prostitutes, and like now there's gonna be something else, and like, oh yeah, what if there's like, I remember what else he goes, and there's gonna be an exorcism. Like Eric was like, that's like something you would try to just randomly shoehorn into a movie that's not about exorcisms at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's and for a film that has a lot of really great moments of karate and intensity and charisma and all this, and really funny, weird sex scenes as well. Oh, I like the sex scenes are everything. But there's also these random small quiet moments as well that I did not expect, such as when I can't remember his name, where he was the drug addict, and he would go to the restaurant. Yes, where he would go, yeah, where he would go to the restaurant and have this like moment with one of the cooks that works there. And he's like, yeah, please, I'm good for it and everything. And she's like, fine, here, and just leave. And she kind of smiles as he walks away.
Oh no, that was beautiful. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's what.
Yeah, it's a very quiet moment.
It's what established. So to give you context, there's a scene that Dolemite's not in. We're introduced to a new character, which is the first time it's been like cut away from Dolemite, and it's a junkie. Like it's clearly like very homeless, seems like he's homeless. He's scratching, he's itching. He's clearly like on drugs of some sort, and he's asking, can get French fries and a Coke and a burger from this little truck that's selling something, that's selling food. And the woman is like, we don't serve fries here. And he's like, okay. Also, like, I don't have money to pay for the burger and Coke. And she's like, okay, I'll just cover it. Like, get out of line. He's like, great, see ya, thanks, God bless you. And it's you're right, it is a really poignant scene, because the next moment he meets up with Dolemite, and like, Dolemite's going to help him out or whatever. But introducing a character like that, like in that kind of scene where it does kind of focus in on the woman even after the guy leaves, and focuses in on how happy she feels to have helped somebody out and like been like someone's patron saint for the day. It was a pretty nice touch, and kind of goes to, I think, something we were trying to underplay in Dolemite. Playing Dolemite is my name, which is that he kind of, for all the nudity, for all the exploitation, I think he also really kind of maybe respected women. Maybe.
I think he had. I think he does, for sure. I mean, like, I don't know. I think he does. His character. Are we talking in real life or his character? Which one are you referring to?
Oh, I know. Sorry. In real life, I mean the actor, because the director.
Yeah.
Not the director, sorry, the Dolemite guy.
Well,
maybe the director, because he was involved, but yeah.
Well, there are clear, quiet moments surrounding women, and there's a lot of focus on the women, obviously. A lot of 95% of it, some of the time, the female characters feel like they don't really matter in the film, honestly. They kind of feel like side character. I mean, like most of them don't. They do have things. A lot of them do have lines and everything, but it's like the girls, the karate girls, that are in the dojo.
Yeah, well, I would say that.
And there's a handful of the prostitutes that there's a focus on them, and they're just kind of doing their own thing. And Vernon, my dude, what's up?
I don't know. I might disagree with you on that, because again, because of what we learned from Dolemite is my name, like the woman who plays what's her name, Lady B or whatever, like the head
Queen
of the
Bee.
band, Queen Bee. She was actually like this woman that he had found on tour while touring, who like he saw beating the shit out of her husband when she caught him cheating on her. She's like a bigger woman. She's an older woman. She's not somebody like, that traditionally like Hollywood would have wanted to put in movies and stuff. And he really like went on tour with her, like decided that she was a star, like and made her like a big focal point in the movie. Yes, the women are prostitutes, and yes, they're kung fu, and yes, they're like being used in like exploitative ways. But I think, but I do think that like they also have their own agencies. Every single female woman in this movie has their agenda that's either pro or against. Like, it's not even that they're pro or against Dolemite. They just have their own lives that they're living, and kind of like that quiet moment at the lunch van. They're just kind of like, existing as their own autonomous beings.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with you there. If that's something where the thing is, it's clear the female characters are not just set dressing. There's characters where it's clear that they have their own lives. There's that moment between Queen Bee, where one of the prostitutes, she's like, "Hey, you stole my money," and Queen Bee was like, "Did you steal her money?" And she's like, "Yeah, here it is." And Queen Bee takes her out. And one of the other prostitutes, she ends up talking to one of the guys, and then she ends up talking to another guy. And there's this clear focus of these women, where especially I was very surprised at how much there was respect for. I feel like there was like quite a bit of respect for sex workers. That's rarely in film. They're actually shown as workers.
Here's a list for you for why the women in Dolemite are better than Bond women. A, they have like their own names, their own agencies, and their own frequency, like their own agency and their own like free. They have their own lives outside of Dolemite. B, they're not like just like they're not treated like cannon fodder. They're not just people that get kidnapped. These are active women who like take down dudes who try to fuck with them or try to fuck with Dolemite. Like they are like very savage and like better at karate and hand-to-hand combat than he is. Like these are not like sycophantic women. They're just like, oh, I mean, yes, every woman wants to sleep with him, and they like say that he rocks their world or whatever. But you get the sense that these women have their own things where they are sex workers and they have to protect themselves. That early scene where some guy tries to steal her money, one of Queen Bee's women's money, and she beats him up so bad that apparently he ends up in the fucking hospital, like contraction. Like that's just, and that has nothing to do with the main story, but we see a flashback of it and we're just like, oh yeah, somebody tried to rip her off and she just beat the living shit out of him. And you don't need to put that in the movie. You put that in the movie because you want to prove that these characters are strong.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with you there. There is a real sense of agency and agenda with the female characters, which I was very, very surprised about.
Yeah, me too.
Considering what it was, considering when it was released, considering, it is, he is a pimp. And however, something I also was also very surprised about was that the links, the amount, the sex scenes themselves, there is such a focus on female pleasure in the film.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
And I was like, oh, what's this? What? Good for you.
I'm not here to speculate about what his deal was, what his sexuality preference was, or why he was, as we find on Dolemite is My Name, so nervous about that sex scene and had to make it so over the top, like he was such a stud, even though he was terrified of doing it. And why, in neither movie do they sort of address or the Dolemite is My Name, they never address him having any sort of love interest whatsoever. I don't know what this guy's deal was, but from the surface level of what I can read from the movie and what I can glean from the biopic, he seemed like he was a pretty woke dude for for his time. He just seems like he cast women that don't traditionally get cast in roles. He probably could have sold the movie easier if he had hired some hot blonde girls to follow him around and be those karate chicks, but he didn't want that.
I think he did hire a few white girls. He did hire a few white girls. But obviously it's a very focus on
just showing some support for the family.
We just hit 50. Did we just hit 50?
Yep, we just hit 50. So now what we say we're gonna do? We have to do a monologue, or I have to promote.
Guys, we're gonna do a monologue here pretty soon.
Okay. Give me a second to find a monologue. 1 second.
Oh gosh. In the meantime, I'm just gonna eat this dumpling in fear.
Oh wait, real quick. What was I just saying about the yeah, so they say that when Bob Odenkirk, who shows up as the distributor at the end from Legendary or Dimension Films, and he's we had big open movie.
It was Generational Films. No, wait, Generational Entertainment.
I'm talking about the name of Odenkirk's company.
Oh, my bad. Forgot me.
It's either Dimension or something else. But he's like, look, we have all these old 3,000 seat theaters that you could play your movies in. And the resistance originally is he knows who his audience is. He's not going to get sold out. He understands the industry will take the work of Black people and co-opt it, get them to sign contracts that essentially relinquish all their rights to this thing. This guy already took a gamble on himself that would have kept him working in perpetuity for as a dancing little wind-up toy for this record label. And he made it out. He Uncut Gem made it out. A good version of Uncut Gems, where he just did the thing and he magically made it happen. He's not going to let that be taken away from him. So he has this really good bit at the end about in Dolemite is My Name, about how he doesn't make these movies for everyone to see. It's about these two blocks. Everyone on the block knows it, and Bob Odenkirk's well, every city has those 2 blocks.
I was so surprised to see him there, by the way. I was even Lucas said it. He was like, is that Bob Odenkirk? And I was like, yeah.
It's kind of
anyone who's anyone is in this movie. And everyone from Chris Rock, Keegan-Michael Keel, Peele, you're right. Keegan-Michael Key, down to Craig Robinson. There's so Titus Andromedon. There's so many people. I was like, and noir.
That's what I was doing. I was like, noir, black noir. I just thought we got a super chat from John Lestrina saying, super chat can't read out loud.
It was. I was hoping he would break down an at some point. I really was. I was really hoping he would do Pinot. It was what he does as Pinot Noir. It's Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir. It's so great.
You guys don't know what I'm talking about. We're talking about Unbreakable It's Unbreakable. Kimmy Schmidt does a whole thing. That might okay. I thought it was Frozen for a second. Kimmy Schmidt has a whole the big like character in Kimmy Schmidt besides the main character is the guy who plays the best friend, or like I guess like he's like the best friend, the second in command, the producer, the guy who's always believed in Rudy. Is like played by the same guy, Titus and Titus Androgena. Can't even say the name right. But it's so good. I loved it so much, and it made me think about other biopics that I've seen recently. This is a perfect biopic. This is why these screenwriters are so good at doing biopics, and why so many. And it just shows like by seeing these kind of movies, I realize how shit other biopics are. Like not shit, but like how much like they evolve into these certain tropes that get made fun of in stuff like Dewey Cox Walk Hard, because there's these tropes that you hit when you're doing a biopic about someone who became famous. And it's like what he suffered when he was a kid and he lost his brother or sister. When he was coming up in the world, no one would give him a chance and he got in trouble with the law. His first divorce. Then he learns how to get bigger and famer, but now he's addicted to drugs and there's about to be a big fall. And then the redemption third act, and it's so formulaic. And what I love about these guys' movies is that's not the kind of biopic story they're interested in telling. They don't even want to tell you the whole life of this guy. They just start you out on this story of how he got this movie made, and everyone coming together and everyone pitching in to do extra things and to get the wheels moving, and doing this in this ad hoc Robert Rodriguez, Rebel Without a Crew way. That's really inspiring. I think it's really inspiring because you come to Hollywood, this guy's already 45, 50 years old, the actor, I think at the time when he played Dolemite. He had some limited success, but he was, everyone else probably would have considered him washed up, a total washed up person. Like nobody that could appear on a major screen as an action star is a 45, 50-year-old paunchy black dude who doesn't know how to do karate.
They brought up his weight several times, and I was like, "What's wrong with his weight?"
I didn't think he was overweight either. Actually, by the way, I didn't think he was overweight either. But they just keep mentioning Dolemite is my name, that he's supposed to be chunky. That's it.
He's called pudgy a handful of times, but it's bunkers. Whatever.
I can find another picture of him. Oh my god! You know what I found? Here's a picture. Remember the photo shoot they're doing for his album? Remember the photo shoot they're doing from the beginning of the album?
Yes.
Hold on. I almost got it. I do have it. But where is it? It's called... Oh my god. Wait, I'll just put it here. Here you go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh! There it is. Straight up, eat out more often. This guy was so beyond. This is a scene that's actually in Dolemite is my name. It's based on the fact that before he was doing Dolemite as a movie character, he developed this character for raunchy albums that he was making that really caught on across America with in black communities that were sort of Eddie Murphy's Raw. I think Eddie Murphy taking this part is very significant. I think Chris Rock also probably would have really won this part because these are he's sort of not as much talked about, but he was so influential in getting these comedy, comedy action comedy, but plus social statement, critiques out in the world that they were clearly inspired by this guy's raunchy sense of humor, and his ability to not take things so seriously, but to create a great product. And they proved to the world that, fuck you, world. You think there's no place for me in this? There is. There are people that are dying to see what I have and are dying for my product and are dying for it. And, if you're too dumb to see that because, of racism or because, you're looking at market trends or because whatever, then that's going to be your loss. Because if you really believe in yourself and you believe in your dream, then you can make it happen. I think that's a beautiful fucking message. If you want to go out and shoot a movie today, nothing is holding you back from doing that. Literally nothing is holding you back from going out and shooting a movie today, besides the fact that there's a plague. Don't go out and shoot a movie today.
Definitely do not do that. But I absolutely agree. The message obviously is so inspiring, and the idea that even if there is not even if you don't think people are telling you there's not a market for something, for what something you want to make or do, be, whatever the situation is, you just create that opportunity as well. And just also kind of being like, fuck those guys. I'm going to do whatever the heck I want just because I can. And as a creative, this is something I need to do. And similar with Ed Wood's character and Ed Wood, you know, he mentioned this is something I have to create. I am a filmmaker. This is what I do.
It's not even an option. It's just like, and I love that idea that like them giving up and going to a different career path or whatever. It's not an option. This is what they do. This is who they are. Absolutely. They can't be anyone else. Now, he obviously needs to be in the arts and, you know, because he's dabbled around in so many different things. I'm not sure if, like, you know, he had to make the movie because, you know, he did records, he did he did music, he was like a summit, like he had a lot of creative outputs. But I think like this movie thing, when he's looking at the projector and seeing that, like, you know, making the connection that he's only reaching a certain number of audiences when he goes out on tour all the time, but with the projector projecting his image into the screens of like people simultaneously, it's got that Maxwell Lord sort of moment where he's like, oh shit, I can make everyone watch me at once. And it's a beautiful, beautiful moment when he steps into the theater and watches himself being played on screen. It's truly beautiful.
And he also decided not to see himself, to watch himself again. He decided when at the premiere in My Name is Dolemite in particular, at the very last scene, what he decided to do, and he was at the big premiere, the world premiere of his movie, at a jam-packed theater. And there are lines and lines out the window. It is such a packed theater. He decides, hey, instead of sitting front row with all my friends and watching my name on the big screen and seeing it, because he said at the time, oh, I've already seen it already. You guys can go watch and enjoy this. What he's going to do is hang outside with all of his fans that are going to be waiting hours and hours to watch his movie. And he just seems so grateful. And he's like, you guys are here for me. And I kind of wonder as well if his real goal is not so much to be an actor or whatever it might be, if his goal is just to be a star, just to be a celebrity. I wonder if that was his real goal, being in Hollywood in general, because he said he could be a lot of these things.
I think that's exactly right. I think that, like, for him, it was more about the community aspect of it all. And again, guys, I do want to mention, like, in the comments, I'm not that aware of his backstory. If it turned out he was a wife abuser or something like that, I'm just not that well informed. And so if we're incorrect in our assumptions here, please feel free to correct us in the comments, and like we'll look into it. This is a learning experience. But from what I'm seeing, this guy was like a pretty dope ass dude. Like, I know biopics played like things, but do you want to hear, by the way, a couple of the reviews that came out around this time? I know they mentioned them in the movies, in the Dolemite, but the actual reviews for Dolemite are pretty crazy. Or maybe we should get on.
I did, yeah. I'm excited, yeah.
You know what? If we reach up to $100 tonight, I'll read my 3 favorites because they are fucking great. So wait, we reached the $50 thing, so you have to now read it. Dolemite is my name, or Dolemite. Which would you rather have a monologue from? Dolemite or Dolemite is my name?
Dolemite.
Okay, I think you're gonna do great on this. Hold on. You gotta read it as. Mercy.
Are you putting in the private chat?
I'm about to. That's the show. Let's see.
Man, I'm nervous now. What do you think?
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find a good. Because it's a lot of dialogue. It's not a lot of speeches, so I'm trying to find something that's like a speechy. Okay, come on.
Guys, I do want to say thank you ahead of time for donating to our goal to do this. I don't know if it was the intention or not for me to do this monologue, or if it's just like to help out Drew and I or whatever, but we appreciate it. We really, really do. Either way.
And I'm not going to give you anything racy. Like, I promise you, I'm not going to give you anything racy to do
Oh,
it.
now I'm disappointed. No.
Well, I mean, like, what I mean is I'm not going to give you any Quentin Tarantino lines that he would have given himself for this. So hold on. I'm playing in the private chat. I'm on 2 different computers right now. So enter broadcast studio. I'm going to be entered as this third person. I put it as a private chat. I'm going to wait. I'm going to love this so much. Okay, hold on. So now I'm backstage. Hold on. Yep. Here we go. It's in private chat.
It's in private chat. Great. Let me read through it. Okay.
Well, let me make sure this is from the right movie. Let's see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's easy enough. Okay.
That's
Let me pick.
This is from Dolemite is my name. By the way, it's not from the original Dolemite. This is from the Murphy version. The context here I'm going to give you is that this is a scene that he's practicing in a mirror at this abandoned hotel, and he's trying to get in character for something, and he's looking at a picture of his father while he's reading these lines. So that's the setup here.
Okay, that's a scene. Do I need to perform it like that or no?
No, you can perform however you want. And I'm also going to find more of them. Let's see. There's so many good lines in this. Guys, if you have any ideas of these lines.
Okay. All right, I got it. Okay. All right. Ah, fuck. All right. You dirty motherfucker. You told me I wasn't shit, huh? You wasn't shit. You the one that ain't shit. Okay, look at me now, motherfucker. You want to know who I am? I'm Dolemite. Okay, fucking farmer.
Fuck yeah. Well, you know what? I'm going to send you the script right now, and can you just read all of it? You want to just do some line readings? That's awesome. Fuck, that's awesome. God, I love it when you do these things. You know what? I'm going to send you the whole StreamYard thing right now. You just write as many of these as you want, because I think you're. Oh, sorry, that's not it.
Thank you, love.
It's so funny when Alex does voices. Is anyone else as impressed as I am, or am I just being crazy? Alex does very funny voices. Here you go. Here's a bunch of Dolemite lines.
Okay. Dolemite lines. And also this persona I'm doing, her name is Judy. Okay.
I thought her name was, what's her name from My Cousin Vinny?
Should we call her that? What's her name? What is her character name?
Oh my god, what is her name? Jesus Christ, my brain is fried. It's Vinny.
Come on, competitor.
Come on, stop it.
Stephanie, is it Stephanie? Stefania?
Yeah, I think that's right. It's something with an S. It's Maria something.
All right, let's see. Let's see. Let me find out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin. Her name is Mona Lisa Vito.
Oh my god, how did I forget that? Mona Lisa Vito. Great.
That's a 5-pointer, honestly. If you had to get her entire name.
Mona Lisa Vito.
Mona Lisa Vito. Yes.
Okay. So scroll through. I'm gonna fill the air for a little second and banter to the audience while you scroll through and find a couple of these quotes that seem to work for you. I'll also send you the original Dolemite quotes to a page. So guys, how are you guys doing? I'm VideoDrew. This has been a weird period of time. We are now into December. I thought David Lynch was going to stop doing his numbers of the day, and I got really sad. But it turns out his announcement was that he watched everyone in the comment section saying how much they love him picking random bingo balls out of a cup every morning to announce the number of the days. And so he decided he's not going to stop doing that. And that was the announcement. That's pretty cool. So I was getting worried. Every day I wake up worried that David Lynch is going to die. Let's see. I can try one too, by the way.
Let's see. Okay.
I have all Dolemite.
Okay. No, I can't say that.
You can't say, yeah, there's a lot of this really.
There's one I'm like, yeah, I can't say that.
Well, we replace the word with something like ginger, ninja.
Oh wait. I don't know which one you're referring to. because the one I have is like is from Dolemite is my name. It's just like a bunch of inspirational stuff.
I know. It's just a bunch of quotes, but here's the actual script for Dolemite. Okay. I'm sending it to you right now. Thanks, John. Thanks for slowing this whole production down. I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking kidding. Here you go. Here's the script for Dolemite right here. Here's the script for Dolemite is my name.
Oh, that's funny. That's a good one.
Well, I'm going to do one of these, actually. Because here, I do think there's important stuff here. This is really...
Okay.
This is just me doing it because this is, I feel like, a really sincere, great piece of writing. Where he goes, arriving at when they arrive at the... Hold on, let's see. Hold on. I just thought I have it. See, I just had it. Oh, no. Well, I guess, guys, we're really trying here.
Okay. All right. Okay, I got one.
Okay.
All right. Okay, got one. So when I was singing on the stage, I swear to God, people fainted. Ambulance man was on them, picking them off the floor. And when I did a gig, the promoter would warn the hospital. Okay, Rudy's on tonight. They're going to be carrying out the bodies out of the motherfucking club.
Love it. I love it.
No,
I love it. It's not an offensive thing. It's just a different... Oh, shit. It's a different read on it. Hold on. Let me computer just fell. Let's see, real quick. I think I'm trying to remember what my favorite parts were. Eddie Murphy delivers some of these lines so well that I was like, "Oh damn, Eddie Murphy can act now. I guess who cares?" But that's cool.
I was okay. It's kind of funny you say that, just because I totally agree. This feels like very much like an Oscar baiting movie. I was very surprised it didn't get any Academy Award nominations.
It wasn't streaming at the time. It never came out except in limited.
No, it was limited release, but there was an Oscar campaign. It was actually nominated for several Golden Globes, though.
Right, but that's...
And there was
Roma was an exception because Roma actually had a release, like a theatrical release that was a little bit more than limited. So
there was an active Oscar campaign though for some time.
Sure, and as well there should be, but at that period in time, streaming wasn't. If it was just streaming with only limited, like maybe 4, 5, 6 book theaters to show off this limited thing,
I don't think that was a reason why, honestly. Just because at that time Roma was already nominated. It was the same, and it was like you said, it was limited release and everything. Roma was a limited release, however, but it's just really wonky. But there was very little buzz overall.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I disagree. I feel like Dolemite is my name got a lot of buzz. I just avoided it. I feel like it got a lot of buzz, not Oscar buzz, but it did get a lot of buzz. So I remember the whole thing was Eddie Murphy and Keegan-Michael Key and look at all these people. Wesley Snipes, by the way, putting on a performance that I have not seen since To Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. Wesley Snipes playing this director might have stolen the whole show for me. He plays him as such a... I'm not sure if he's a lush or if he's a name dropper or what if he's Faye in some way. He's just so... that's his whole energy. His whole mood right now is...
I honestly took it as far as he really thought himself above the movie. And he the way he left the movie, how he got into movie, how he met them, and they pitched them the movie, everything from start to finish. And he would be drinking he would make himself a little remote screwdriver with some vodka, some vodka in his OJ. And he would ask him, can we make that scene literally any better in order to make it seem like he actually kicked the guy?
Yeah, he said, is there any way to shoot this to make it look like kicking him? And they go, no.
And
he's I found my quote. I'm not going to do it in your voice. Or maybe I'll try to.
It was just...
Dolemite is my name, and fucking motherfuckers is my game. You no business born, rat soup eating, insecure motherfucker. Dolemite is my name, And fucking up motherfuckers is my game. No business born, insecure, junkyard rat, soup eating motherfucker. Not bad.
Mm-hmm. Ain't too shabby.
Yeah, also like how great his dialogue was. Like, first of all, someone else wrote this script, which is hilarious. Like, the Keegan-Michael Key character in the movie is a very, like, he's a very serious playwright who's very much into the idea of, like, black, you know, the black arts having a purpose and, like, showing, you know, having mission statement. But there's dialogue in here that clearly was just Rudy's dialogue, where he goes, you know, like 23 of these hours, you know, you had 24 hours to get out of town and only 23 have passed, or stuff like that, where you're just like, this guy just makes it his own. And it's weird to think that that playwright had anything to do with the writing of what would become this movie.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a really funky one. I wonder what his goal, like Rudy's goal, was overall. Did he want to be a movie star? Did he just want to make movies for his community? Did he just really have a lot of fun making these movies and just wanted to keep going, and a lot of the celebrity aspects just became a bonus? You know, so I'm really curious about his, like, overall motivation making these films.
Well, people come to Hollywood for a bunch of reasons, but a lot of times it's because they want to make it in the film industry. And after living here for many years, you find a lot of disillusioned people in LA because they didn't make it. He has continued to believe in himself. Sorry. I'm gonna burp myself and I'm like a baby. He has to, you know, sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Sorry, guys. Shit, what was I saying? Somebody help me out in the chat. What was I just saying? Damn it. It just went away. Okay, anyway, I just think that, like, there's so much in this movie that's about, I don't know how well it was embraced by white audiences or whatever, but this guy clearly became, like, a cultural hero. And, I liked it. It's funnier than James Bond. It's ridiculous. And more importantly, it's supposed to be funny. Like, so that's what saves it from being like The Room, or like, you know, any of the other horrible movies that we love to make fun of. It knows it's ridiculous. And even unlike Ed Wood, like, Ed Wood didn't really seem to realize how stupid his shit would look. Like, Dolemite, Rudy, like, absolutely did know how stupid it was going to look, and he just wanted to do it anyway. Because he wanted to speak to his people. He had no desire to make this the mainstream movie for everyone in America, all the white people. He made it for black people who love kung fu, who love this kind of, like, storylines. Like, he catered to them. And I think it shows, like, a, you know, maybe an overly glossy and sentimental, nostalgic, rose-colored view of how things can change in Hollywood if just one man can convince a couple executives that the African-American target population demo can bring in some traffic. Who knows? But, like, I feel like that's just kind of a glossed over thing. But in general, yeah, I kind of feel like the story of Dolemite Is My Name is the perfect biopic, because it's just a slice of his life, one thing that he did in his life. It's not like Jobs, where you're jumping around from, like, different points in his life, or where you see someone growing up from being a kid. This is just, you're right in there. He's already old. He's already paunchy. He's already kind of well known in some circuits, not others. You know, like, you're already just right in there with the character.
Yeah, absolutely. There is this idea that I think what's kind of interesting is about I feel like this character in particular, he's kind of like James Bond a little bit. There's a real richness and mythology behind his character. And I mean, he's very beloved. He knows how to fight. He knows how to do a whole bunch of this stuff. And honestly, he is kind of identical to James Bond in a whole bunch of ways. He is technically sponsored by the government. He has a lot of girls hanging off his arm. Mm-hmm. He has really cool fighting style. He kills a whole bunch of people.
Can I tell you something? I love it. In Dolemite is my name. The woman, the bigger woman, is talking to the one white guy on set, and she's like, "Oh, so who are you here for?" And she's like, and he's like, "Well, I actually get tasked a lot to play the bad guys. So before this, I was playing Nazi, and before that, Treason Guard." And he's like, "Guess they just sometimes need." Like, and the woman's face was just falling because like I was a Confederate soldier, and then I was a soldier in Guantanamo Bay, and then I played a racist judge, and you just watch this woman's face fall, and she's just like, oh, it's great. And then being able to go back and watch this scene, like I was wondering why they spent so much time setting up the scene in Dolemite is My Name, where they go through the exact same dialogue that the movie had, and it's all very stilted. Until I watched Dolemite is My Name and realized it's so stilted that like it deserves its own parody.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely agree. Yeah, it's a really cool parody. I am kind of sad that we're not getting more. Like I feel like I haven't seen movies like this in a while, or before. Period. It's such a weird way to kind of. It's such a weird film, and it's such a campy film, and I feel like a lot. Especially now more than ever, I don't feel like we're getting intentionally campy films all that much. We do get movies such as Mommy Dearest and Death Becomes Her, where they later become camp, where they are beloved now. But let's face it, like a lot of these movies that were intentionally campy, such as Death Becomes Her, it was made to be campy. However, it wasn't a beloved film. It was like almost panned completely and made
by the critics.
By the
critics. Well, let's be clear. You were talking about Dolemite?
No, I was talking about Death Becomes Her when I was talking about campy campiness in films. Yeah,
a cult classic.
God, yeah, that one's. Yeah, I love that movie. It's actually my favorite comedy of the 90s. I love that movie. However, it was critically panned. It made no money initially and later found its audience, but they made it knowing it was going to be a campy film, and people didn't really like it at the time when it was released. And we don't really get a lot of movies nowadays that are intentionally campy. And I think
what movie again?
The example I gave was Death Becomes Her.
Right. I think what's really crazy about that kind of movie is like, yeah, Donnie Darko falls into that realm too. Not a lot of people saw Donnie Darko when it came out, but they watched and rewatched it on VHS and DVD and Blu-ray. I feel like as we move into this, not to get all deep talk, but as we move more into the streaming model of all these networks, it's gonna be. I mean, like it's gonna be that these things are interchangeable. The access is easier. That there's more of like a proletariat method that everyone's getting the same information at the same time, no matter where they live or what publication they work for. Like I'm a fan.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Alex, it's really cool.
How about Alex? Do you want to let's talk about favorite characters and lines and scenes?
Overall, probably my favorite individual scene from Dolemite is My Name is this really sweet moment between Dolemite and Queen Bee. I can't remember her real name. I feel bad. I'm sorry. But the woman he has a platonic relationship with towards the end, where he's picking her up going to the theater in a limo, and she's all dolled up. They're both all dolled up, and it's like really nice moments. And she's like, "Thank you. I don't see women like me, look like me, my age, my color, my size on the big screen ever. And you made it happen. So I appreciate you." So that was a lovely, beautiful moment in the film.
Wait, why is it canceled? I didn't.
No, it's like, yeah, it was a joke from earlier. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm really trying to be good about this and trying to be like a woke person with this. I really am. I lay at night, just in night terror sweats, being like, I am going to make a fool of myself one day. When it's just like, I have to just keep watching movies that fall under like the black cinema experience, and it's just I don't want to embarrass myself in public, and it turns out these movies are pretty good, so I'm really excited to watch some other ones.
I'm just excited. A lot of them are actually available for free as well.
Right?
I was like, tons of them, I was like, Tubi, IMDb on TV. I was like, this is free. YouTube, it's available on YouTube. I was delightfully surprised at how available tons of these movies are.
Well, we are, because Dolemite is not still to this day. Dolemite isn't sorry, I'm like breathing weird. Dolemite isn't considered like a top tier movie, so people kind of watch it for the kitsch value or because Dolemite as a name came up. It's kind of been forgotten in the annals of time, much like Ed Wood. These are not guys who rose to the ranks of Orson Welles or you know, or even like a Brian Coogler or something like that. Like they just didn't like, but they succeeded in their way. It kind of also reminds me of the movie Bowfinger, also starring Eddie Murphy. It's about Steve Martin.
Oh, yeah.
Heather Graham, you know, and they're this ad hoc like film crew, and they're trying to have a movie that stars Eddie Murphy's character, but they can't get to him because he's famous, and they are losers and stalkers. And so they like basically hire his twin brother, and then they convince the guy, they convince Eddie Murphy he's gone crazy, and that they just shoot cinema verite style, and like make it look like it's him actually saying the lines, because he actually does believe there's aliens because he's fucking crazy. That is maybe my favorite Eddie Murphy movie of all time. This might come in as a close. I mean, not this movie. I was watching Vampire in Brooklyn earlier, but I'm saying like these movies. I just need to like watch more of them, because the more I watch, like the more I'm like in love with it as like a genre. I'm like, this is exactly my type of speed. Blow some shit up, say some really funny shit while you're punching people, like just have like everyone nonsensically dance around. I mean, it might as well be a David Lynch film. Like it's just like everyone walks into every situation, and it's like the most bizarre interactions you can possibly have. You're like,
it's
oh
100% a Lynch movie, like from it, like it's like an alternate universe. It is an alternate universe of a David Lynch movie.
I mean, I feel like, you know, like there's something to be said for a movie where someone is actively after you, shooting guns at you, and you're on the run for your life, and you take a break so you can get up on your stage and start rapping your little limericks. Just to be like Dolemite, just like a plug for himself in the middle of this movie. It was so bold. I think like if I had watched this without having seen Dolemite as my name, I might have been confused and not enjoyed it, because I don't think I would have gotten that it was supposed to be funny. I would have just been like, this is a really good movie.
I did. I found it funny a lot without, because I actually saw Dolemite as my name after I saw Dolemite, like directly after.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, a lot of these movies, by the way, a lot of these movies in the 70s sucked a dick. Like, they all did. And this one, I want to give credit to it. Like, real, actual credit. Not like golf claps, not like, you know, second place, or like, you know, consolatory like golf claps, or, you know, consolation golf claps. This movie was well written, well paced, well acted, had characters that like you're invested in, that the storyline is interesting. You want to know more about these people and their world. It's a cheesy ass fucking movie with terrible kung fu and special effects, but like it's a great film. It truly is like a great film. It's so fucking funny.
I think you have to take in consideration what it is. Like you're in no world are you gonna compare this to Saving Private Ryan. You know, you're never gonna be in that situation. What you can, however, because they're both so different in so many ways. Like, and you can say the same thing for like you've never compare Ed Wood to say On the Waterfront or something. Like that's not gonna happen. They're just totally different, and they're both cool.
Your brain works the exact opposite of mine, because I'm like, okay, you just named two things. I have to figure out which one's better. Okay, I'm going with Ed Wood.
Well, the reason, like I said, it's just like you. These are just great movies for very different reasons, and what makes Dolemite great is just I think it's also the sheer enthusiasm the actors have that's so that really pulls through in the scenes in the movie. And it's so clear how much fun they had while making it. And I say that, and the thing is, and again, I did not know a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and I did not see that biopic until after I saw Dolemite, and I felt that from the get-go. So it was really nice to see that translated so well, that, you know, for a movie that can be so ridiculous in so many ways, it can still be a good movie. It can still be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I love this movie. I also love that it focused on race, because race is clearly a hot button issue and would be on the forefront of people's mind. But no character in this movie is racist. Like, the record producers want him because they want him to go on tour, or like in the black record producer turns him down, or the movie producer turns him down, says it's because he's too fat, and they're trying to make other like inspirational black movies. Like, it's never, race is of course in the forefront, as Queen Bee says, or Queen, yeah, whatever, says at the end, like, thank you so much for putting me in your movie. Like, I've never seen someone that looks like me up on the big screen. Now, like, a part of me is almost like, that's a little too button on
the nose.
It's a little too on the nose. Almost like, thank you, like, my savior complex. But on the other hand, I truly do believe the way they made this character, I'm frozen. Sorry. The way they did write this character, she's not vulnerable that often. They really do have a strong connection that is, as far as we know, totally platonic. And I just felt like it was a beautiful moment. It wasn't for her to be making a statement to the world. It was her saying it to him. There aren't many women that look like me that like get to be in movies. So like, thank you for letting me be in this movie. I thought it was really beautiful.
Oh, I forgot to mention the sex scene. I mean, they were filming the funny sex scene in My Name is Dolemite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And them coming to the realization where they're like, what's happening? And they suddenly see like the mirrors moving, and you see her like moving the things in the behind the wall, and you see the ceiling crash down on them. And everyone starts laughing. And Keegan like comes in, and he's like, what are you doing? This is like a serious scene. And they're like, no, it's not anymore. It's funny as hell. That was a great scene.
I think there's so much to be said. There's so much to be said. Like, what about the kid that was the DP, who is the Nightcrawler in the new X-Men movie? That really cute kid with the long hair. He's like from the new X-Men movies. He plays Nightcrawler. He was in, oh god, Eric just told me, I forgot what he was in.
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he's like I know exactly what you're talking about. I know his face, not his name. He's like, he's like a new up-and-coming kind of actor kid. He played the like assistant director, cameraman. Essentially, had a handful of lines where they were like trying to troubleshoot like the lighting, and they're like, "Well, how are we gonna get the lights on if we don't have electricity?" Things like that.
His name is Cody. No, sorry, Cody Smith McPhee is his name. He was He was the boy from On the Road. He was the boy from I think Let Me In. That's what it was. He was the boy from Let Me In.
Oh, good call.
Yeah, super hot, super cute guy. Drew, don't say he's hot. He was born in 1996, and that makes you feel bad about yourself. So don't say that. Anyway, keep going.
That's like 24.
26 versus 36 is a decade difference.
Oh, sorry. I agree. It's a big difference. But I'm just saying, one, he's legal. Two, at least we're not creeping on like an 18-year-old, because that feels really weird.
Yeah.
And also, I can creep on him as a 30-year-old woman. That doesn't seem like that bad.
I've been lately crushing on guys who look like they're just still in college.
Makes sense.
Wait. Is this true?
Is that true? No.
I mean, I can imagine so, because they ran in different circles. Wesley Snipes was very much like into his island, like putting all his money in an offshore island and doing that kind of stuff. I'm not sure if they would have run in the same circles. Like, I mean, Wesley wasn't a stand-up, so
that's true. But they both have been working actors for a very long time, since like the late 80s.
Right, but I'm saying this is the first, right? The 70s though, because like this. Oh, sorry, you're right. Excuse me. Let me back up. They have been working, both of them, for a very, very long time together. Maybe it's like one of those Heat situations where it's like De Niro and Pacino, and you finally get one scene where they're in the same movie at the same time, and then the camera just cuts back and forth between the two of them, so you never get a wide shot of Robert De Niro and Al Pacino actually looking at each other, occupying the same space. Who knows why? But they're just like, it seems like
You get that scene in Heat. Do you get a wide shot of them in Heat?
in the director's cut, but like you have to have it framed by you have to have a special sort of framing ratio where it's like 14 by 30, whatever. I just did like a piece on this for the catch up, but like most theatrical releases, you could not see that they were in the same like physical space together. But people just loved it.
That's kind of bonkers.
I'm trying to think. Eddie Murphy and Wesley Snipes.
Let me find out.
Wesley Snipes has been in two Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. And Eddie Murphy was in Goldfinger. Can we do 2 degrees or 6 degrees? Because I can get it on 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon style.
Oh, I actually, it's actually funny you say that because I actually created a new game out of one of my card games for training. And I feel like it's right up your alley. It's essentially 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. What?
Let's do it.
Okay, challenge. I'm giving you a challenge. Oi. Okay. Oi. So I have this game called Cinelinx, where it's like dominoes. It's a card game with dominoes. Well, it's where you treat it essentially like dominoes, only you have genres, directors, movies, double features. So like this one has like 25th Hour, Monster, Arnie, Schwarzenegger, Juliette Lewis, Elf, everything. So I want you to connect Matt Damon to Charlie's Angels.
Wait, like in how many moves do I get?
Just connect them. I'll give you unlimited.
Okay, so hold on. I'm not gonna read the chat. Matt Damon to Charlie's Angels. Okay, so Matt Damon to Wait. You said Matt Damon to which Charlie's Angels?
Charlie's Angels, the first one, circa 2001.
Okay, so let me write this down real quick. I can do it. Everyone in the chat's gonna be like way ahead of me, but let me do it real quick. My brain is fuzzy today, and I'm like having a hard time, but I do think this is something I want to get right. So give me 1 second.
All right, write it down. Okay.
I think what it is here. Let me write it down here. Is that like okay? So Matt Damon is in these movies, and I think the connective tissue would be. I think the connective tissue would have Bernie Mac, right? Wasn't he in the first Charlie's Angels, or was it Cedric the Entertainer or Bernie Mac who was in the first Charlie's Angels?
You can pretty much connect them. You can say I connect Charlie's Angels 1 to 2 because it has the same cast with Lucy Liu, Cameron Diaz, and Drew Barrymore. Charlie's Angels 2 has Bernie Mac, who co-starred with Matt Damon in all the Ocean's films. Therefore, that's how we connect it.
Yeah, but Bernie Mac was in Charlie's Angels, right?
In Charlie's Angels 2. Yeah.
Okay, so what about Sam Rockwell? I think Sam Rockwell and Matt Damon probably have done some stuff together.
Okay, so hear me out.
Okay.
So so if we're gonna connect Sam Rockwell to Matt Damon, Sam Rockwell, he starred in Iron Man 2 or was it 3? I can't remember. And that starred Iron Man. Now, Iron Man is played by RDJ, who actually starred in the Avengers. That also starred Thor, and Chris Hemsworth and Thor. And so I'm connecting it to.
You can cut out the middle part because you can just go into the MCU. You don't have to like go to Tony.
Okay. You're right. Okay, so Matt Damon, he played Loki in the theater performance in Thor.
So what was the Matt Damon to who? What did we say Matt Damon to who?
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell, right? So they both exist in the MCU. So it's just Sam Rockwell to Tony to the event to the character.
Okay,
my brain is so fuzzy.
Okay. In that case, let's figure out Wesley Snipes to Eddie Murphy.
Wesley Snipes to Eddie Murphy?
Okay, yes.
Okay, well, I mean, like, you're saying this is the first movie they've been in together. Fine, but let's say, I'm not a huge, I don't know, add up to date on Wesley Snipes biography, but I do know Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar, and I do know Blade. So getting it from
White Man Can't Jump, Demolition Man.
Okay, so we're trying to get from him to Eddie Murphy. So let's see. There has to be someone with Eddie Murphy and Woody Harrelson, right? Eddie Murphy and Rosie Perez. Eddie Murphy and sorry,
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson is White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah, I mean, like what? I mean, like, could they have any kind of connection? Maybe, maybe not.
Wait, they were in White Man Can't Jump together.
They what?
They were in White Man Can't Jump together.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I was just trying to think of Wesley Snipes to Eddie Murphy, though.
Oh, Woody Harrelson to Eddie Murphy. Let's see. Wesley Snipes to Eddie Murphy. There's got to be something here.
Guys, help us out. Everyone in the chat, actually help us.
Yeah, help us out here because I'm just not that up to date on Wesley Snipes. I'm gonna go with Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna see if maybe there's a way to connect John Leguizamo to Eddie Murphy, which I feel like they've definitely been in something together. Am I crazy? John Leguizamo and Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like John Leguizamo and Eddie Murphy have been.
Like, looks at everything.
Let's see. Let me see. Let's see. Eddie Murphy.
Well, he's been in a whole bunch of stuff. Spawn. Spawn. He was in Spawn.
Yeah, but that's not Wesley Snipes. I'm sorry. That was just Michael J.K.
J. White. Oh, Michael J.
J.
White.
White.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay. I can fix this.
I think I got it. I think I might have got it. Hold on. Let me just double check. They also don't want to seem again completely racist by by just like naming things that are not right. So let's see here. Wow, yeah, they were never in anything together. But let's see what we can do.
That's bonkers.
He's gonna be in Coming to America too. By the way, that's awesome. I cannot wait. Like that he's gonna be in Coming to America too. I mean, Wesley Snipes. Let's go.
We play some military.
I'm gonna do John Leguizamo, Eddie Murphy, and see if I got anything. John, is anyone in the chat giving us suggestions?
Expendables.
Wait, Expendables?
Mm-hmm. Was Wesley Snipes in the Expendables? He wasn't in them. I know Murphy wasn't.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. What about Patrick Swayze?
Swayze.
That's the third. So that's the third one of the Tu Wong Fu group. Oh wait, Robin Williams. Is there a connection there? Because Robin Williams was also in Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. For some reason, I'm really stuck on this.
3, supposedly.
Guys, this is making for great content while we Google, so somebody better figure this out quick. Anyway, I guess we can announce what we're doing for next week, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll talk about how the movie holds up because I have a lot to say about that. It's really good.
Guys, I have not seen this next movie. I know everything about it. However, I've not actually seen the movie in full. So I am terrified to watch it. Can you guess what it is?
Okay, hold on. I got a picture of it. Hold on. It is it's a horror. This is a horror movie, but it's a horror movie that takes place in a universe of, well, it's something I think we all know and love. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, where'd the picture go? Hold on. Guys, my ability to do stuff today is severely hampered, so please bear with me. Let's see. Where'd the picture go? Okay, let's see. I'll have to find a new picture apparently, so hold on 1 second. Alex, I want you to tell us a little bit about without naming the movie, what sort of predisposition do you have that made you not see it?
I had every intention to see this movie when it was released in theaters. However, I found out everything about it beforehand, and I was like, I guess there's no point now. And now I feel like, oh, there it is. Arnie
Wait,
is...
Wait, he did it. Wesley in Expendables 3 with Arnold with True Lies with Jamie Lee Curtis, and Jamie in Trading Places with Eddie Murphy.
Well done. Now that's...
Well done.
Yeah, I was like,
I
didn't think, Eric, do you have this game? Do you? I'm jealous.
Oh, Eric's just really good at movie stuff. I feel like there's also an easier one too if I remember more as the Snipes rolls, but I just don't. So here's the movie we're going to be doing next week. As I want to publicly shame Alex when I show you the movie that we're going to be watching because she hasn't seen it yet, and I want us all go shame. It's a new tab. There we go. Hold on. Shame.
No shame here. You're not going to shame. No shame.
I'm not gonna shame you. Let's see. Open a new tab. Okay, here we go. So here's what we're watching for next week, guys. Are you ready? This is a movie Alex has not seen. For the love of God, she has not seen this movie. Let's see. Making it bigger, full screen. She has not seen.
Get Out, y'all. I've never seen Get Out. Again, the thing is, again, I know everything about this movie. I know the ending. I know the alternate endings. I know the director's things. I know everything about the cotton. I know everything about the Fruit Loops and the milk. I know all of it. I know she has a creeper serial killer on the wall.
You can be told what childbirth is going to feel like, Alex, and it doesn't matter once you experience childbirth. Yeah, so you know a lot of shit about it.
That's my big bias going into it. The thing is, that's why I haven't seen this, because I was like, it's kind of like Seven. That's the reason why I haven't seen the movie Seven. I literally know everything about it. I haven't seen Usual Suspects for the same reason.
But Alex, I feel like, well, first of all, that is a flaw of Hollywood in the 90s that was so related to the twist. Like everything was so hinged on those like Fincher, like and to a lesser extent Nolan twists of like, or Shyamalan, M. Night Shyamalan, where it's like, oh, the thing that's the twist, and once you know the twist, the movie's ruined. Whereas Get Out, I don't think it doesn't ruin the movie just because you know like the ending. Like the movie's about the ambiance of it and the atmosphere of it. And it's a brilliant film, truly great social commentary, perfect for these times. Or maybe it's actually not perfect for these times. It was perfect for the Obama year times, because this movie definitely makes it out like white people are well-meaning and yeah, I mean it's well-meaning but terrible people.
I would have voted Obama in for a third term.
Something that NerdChronic says to me all the time whenever I say I met Obama twice, and he goes, "Would you have met him for a third term?" Great.
Oh God!
Did you just compare Get Out to childbirth? Yes, sir, I did. I'm just saying that there's some experiences that you have to, like, there's some things in life you have to experience. Just knowing what's going to happen doesn't, like, you know, if knowing how your life's going to end doesn't do anything. Like, that's just facts. You need to actually experience it. You need to live your life.
I think that's another reason why I've held off watching it for so long. Is because it's a film that is just so inherently terrifying for so many reasons. And horror movies, I only got into starting last year. And especially when it comes to social thrillers, social horrors are really, they're just so scary to me. They're just so much more realistic, I guess. And that just makes it just so much more terrifying to watch.
I think that you'll really like this one because it's a horror comedy. Like it's played with really funny beats. The acting is incredible. It's dark. It's a thriller, and yes, it does have this commentary embedded in it. But the commentary is never overwhelming. Like it really isn't. Like you're just watching this movie and you're like, oh my God, like what's going to happen? How is he going to get out of this? It's like crazy. And if you've already know like what's going to happen, like I think you can actually just enjoy it on like the level of performance that everyone gives, all the clues that you'll be able to pick up about what's going on as the film progresses. You know, like you're going to be able to figure. And you know what? Even though you say you know a lot about this movie, there still might be one or two things that surprise you that you don't know.
I'm really hoping so. Like I said, like social horrors in particular. The thing is, I've heard commentaries on this before many times. That's the thing, and I really do not want that to take away a lot of the fun aspect of watching movies.
Yeah, I would say this movie like works totally like Rosemary's Baby. This movie works on a urtext level of just being a great movie that's really fun, like a really good horror movie, like Cabin in the Woods style, or like not Cabin in the Woods, but like a really good horror movie or thriller movie. And then on a secondary level, there's also a great, an important and great message that is coming through. But you can also just enjoy it on its surface. Unlike Under the Silver Lake, and yes, I will rant about this for 20 more minutes. Unlike Under the Silver Lake, which the meta story makes no sense, but you have to go into the ciphers that are hidden throughout the movie, and then you can unlock shit. That's no fun if you're just a moviegoer. You want to watch a movie that, on its base level, on its surface, reads as a movie and reads as entertainment. And Get Out is one of the most entertaining, fun movies, like horror movies that you're going to see in a really long time. So maybe we'll get a special guest on for that. We'll have to think about somebody maybe to ask for that. Yes, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, let's just like kind of wrap this up because I've been meandering all over the place today. Right? Or do we have a section left? I think how it holds up, but I think we kind of covered how well Dolemite has held up. It's one of these few movies that, for a movie that's about like a pimp with a bunch of prostitutes, this is maybe like one of the wokest movies I've ever seen. It's pretty good. Like it's real good. I suggest everyone, I highly suggest you watch in the order I watched it, which is you watch Dolemite Is My Name first, and then you go back and watch the original Dolemite so you can see like how the scenes that they were shooting in the movie and that looks like silly, how they actually looked in the in the actual Dolemite movie, because it's pretty 1-to-1. Sort of like how in Ed Wood, they get a couple scenes that if you go back and watch his movies, they're beat for beat, the awkward tilted language, the sort of weird energy is like palpable, and they captured it really well. So shout out to Larry and Steve, I feel like Steve is his name, for creating such a great film for Dolemite Is My Name and introducing us into the world of Dolemite, which I might continue watching the movies of just because it was so fucking batshit. I really want to see where this is going.
I was like, that's what I want. I want a category in Schmoedown focusing on blaxploitation. I want it on specifically on Dolemite. Give me a Dolemite slice. That'd be amazing.
Wait, there is that slice now. It's not called blaxploitation, but there's a black cinema slice now, which is really good. That's awesome. So I think that's a step in the right direction. So like that's why I'm trying to broaden my horizons, broaden everyone's horizons. I hope everyone watches, because I think the categories are out now. So I think that's safe to say. Maybe I should shut my mouth, but I think it's safe to say that one of the categories is one of my favorite directors, and everyone's going to know who it is, and everyone who's going to play a match against me is going to absolutely try to like study for that. But that's all good with me because that means, sorry?
It's David Cronenberg.
David Cronenberg, sure. And I'm just saying, if that means that 20 more people watch his movies because they have to prep for me, then I've done my job of like being a messenger of how good these films are to me. Anyway.
Chaotic neutral.
Yeah, chaotic neutral.
VideoDrew is bringing on the chaotic good to Schmoedown. Okay.
Wink, wink. I mean, wink, wink. I got something in my eye. Wink, wink. Anyway, Alex, would you like to send us off with where we can find you?
You can find me right here on Twitter at @real_AlexMack. You can also find me hosting Schmoebates tomorrow with Jeff Snyder as my host and a few as our debaters. So it's going to be so much fun. So please stop by and hang out with me with the Call to Action Podcast Network, please and thank you.
Wait, who's the debaters?
Oh, there are a few patrons of ours. So we have Ryan Chandler, aka Alan Smithy, and we also have JD. I can't pronounce his name.
Burroughs?
No, is that his last name? JD Domash.
Okay, never mind. I was thinking if you guys need an extra judge, that's funny as hell. Like Jeff Snyder judging on stuff. Well, whatever. We'll talk later about that. So, so you got Schmoebates going on. Where else can people find you? I know we have a letterbox. We have a bunch of things. So.
Yes, you can actually find me specifically. Actually, also, I'm doing a real big movie challenge right now. I am trying to watch 300 brand new movies that I've never seen before the end of this year. And so far, I have watched 31 movies. So 5 so far.
Do you keep a letterbox of it?
Yes, I do. I was actually going to pull it up. You can actually find me. just Alex Shawshuck, right there.
I have the pro account of Letterboxd. It's awesome. I can clone other people's lists and just make them private and like click off the ones that I need. It's great, and it keeps me aware of what movies I've seen and haven't seen. But other than that, guys, you can find me at VideoDrew everywhere because that's my name everywhere. It's just one word. It's VideoDrew. I don't know why that's so confusing to people. VideoDrew, like Videodrome, like it's one word, but it's okay. VideoDrew on all social networks. We just revamped my Patreon tiers to make it a little bit more accessible for everyone to come in and do study sessions, which we hold on Wednesday. And now we'll, involve some people from the dungeons. So you really should get in on the Patreon because it's also going to be like partly a dungeon study session. So we're going to be having a lot of fun doing that. We're probably going to amp up to a couple more of those. We have Mondays and Thursdays, the VideoChronic pop culture quiz starting at 8 p.m. Thursday, we're doing Last Action Hero. Pause for applause. Don't all freak out at once.
Never seen it.
If you're interested in playing. What the fuck, Alex? You've never seen it? I'm getting up and leaving. Alex. I know I don't get a choice because I just picked Get Out, but can I just, as a supplementary thing, say, please watch Last Action Hero tomorrow. Please.
How about we save it for when we can dedicate a week to it?
Well, the thing is, I don't think it's worth a week's worth of interpretation. I just think it's one of those classic movies that they probably are going to ask about a lot in Schmoedown, and it's so good.
Last Action, I haven't seen that movie. I haven't seen Big Trouble in Little China. I haven't seen a whole bunch of stuff. I haven't seen that other John Carpenter movie where it's like Call Me Saint.
But it's what?
From New York, Escape from LA. I haven't seen either one of those.
Oh, I just saw those recently. But guys, if you want us to review a show or a movie that one or both of us haven't seen, you can check out our Letterboxd Cinema Bias account to see we have lists of movies we haven't seen. And also, you can just sign up for the Patreon. One of the tiers is you get to pick a movie for me and Alex to watch and come on and talk about it with us. No matter what the movie is, as long as one or both of us haven't seen it, it's up for grabs. And please help us fill in our blind spots because I know, for myself at least, I have many. Because I would never found Dolemite otherwise. It's so delightful. What a funny fucking franchise. I love it. So, other than that, guys, thank you so much for hanging around. I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm also feeling lightheaded, so maybe I'm not. Let's see. Why is Weston saying uh-oh? Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. What did I do?
Oh, I think that's it. I think that's it, honestly.
Oh, sorry. He just said uh-oh. I don't like it when people say
just a reaction to my movie mention.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, also, guys, so so Tuesdays we do Cinema Bias. Wednesday's study session. Thursdays the pop culture quiz. Fridays and Saturdays we kind of off right now, so I'm usually on Twitch. And Sundays is Live in the Dark with VideoDrew at 9 p.m. We're having Mara Knopic from the dungeon on Live in the Dark with VideoDrew, which is my weekly kayfabe sort of Between Two Ferns meets Space Ghost Coast to Coast talk show from the weird world of VideoDrew. So really, guys, it's the best time ever to sign up for the Patreon. I'm really trying to make this community happen because you guys are the best, and I've been sort of not working that hard on it last year. I want to really focus on it this year. So want to hear from you guys. Excited. Love you, Alex. I will see you next week, if not sooner. And say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie.